In today's video, I'm going to be recapping the Brandon and Bruce Lee event, Rise of the Dragon. There's going to be merchandise to show, stories to tell, and shout outs to give. So let's get to it. It's Anthony, the Bruce Lee UK collector here. Welcome back. Or if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Really helps me out, obviously pushes the videos further out there. I'm just over 2,000 subscribers now, and I promised once I hit 2,000 subscribers I would be running a competition, and that was to win the cream of Bruce Lee. Now I thought it was only fair that obviously I want this to go to a good home, so I'm only going to be running the competition for my members. So if you want to obviously join my membership, and they start really cheap, guys, obviously it just helps the channel, supports the channel in a great way, and obviously you'll get some perks with it as well. So the first perk is obviously you could win this. I've seen this on eBay going for at least 60 to 80 pounds. So if you fancy winning this for a couple of pounds a month, have a look at it, have a look at the memberships. It really does help me out, and obviously I want the quality of the videos to go up. Obviously at the moment I'm filming from an iPhone. I've had to actually use my old iPhone. I've actually updated my phone, and for some reason it's zooming in the picture when I'm trying to do the videos, which is not what I want. So obviously I want to invest the money, obviously what I get from the memberships, into improving the videos, the sound quality. I've currently just got myself a wireless microphone. I was actually using obviously one I actually plug in, so that was a bit of a bind. So obviously any improvements will go towards improving the videos, the quality of these videos. Okay, let's get on with the recap. So it was only about an hour from where I live to the event, and obviously I got there quite early, got chatting to a few Bruce Lee fans outside. I was probably one of the first people in the queue. Then when we got led in, we were initially given our lanyards here, as you can see. Now inside here, not actually looked at it yet, but there is actually a CD here. So I'll be interested to see what's on the CD later on. And I've not actually opened this, as you can tell. We're going to open it now. I'm guessing it's a poster. Let's have a little look. Let's try not to cut it. So here we go. Let's have a look at this. Here we go. Oh, there you go. Bruce is back. The Japanese poster for the film what should have never have been made, Game of Death. There you go. I don't know if that's going to actually be framed. I'm not sure. It's to me, Game of Death should not have been made, but hey. Raymond was sat on a load of footage, and obviously he couldn't resist the dollar sign, could he? So we got the 1978 abomination, which is Game of Death. Right, let's move on. So obviously they were screening Bruce Lee, and obviously quite a few Brandon Lee things as well today. The first video that I saw, obviously Carl did a bit of an introduction, and then Andrew had a little speak, I think. And then we moved on to a little documentary which is on the early life, if I can remember, of Bruce Lee. And then we moved on to different films. I did spend a lot of time, which I really loved, in the merchandise room, and I'm going to actually go through some of the pickups. So I did see obviously the start of the event, and I did see a little few things in between, but the majority of the time I was either chatting to fellow Bruce Lee fans. So let's give a big shout out to Michael, who I spent a lot of time with, Kevin, there was Vicky, whose hubby was in there looking for items as well, and who else? I'll get to the other people in a minute. So when in the merchandise, in fact, let me just give a shout out to my daughters. It was my birthday recently, and they asked me what I wanted, and I wanted these fist break bricks. Now, since I saw Charlie's video, obviously, when you talk to obviously Chris, the guy who wrote the book, I was like, no, this is what I want for my birthday. So this is my birthday present. So thank you, girls, very much. Daddy loves you. Right, so now that's out of the way. So let's get to it. So in the merchandise hall, there were stands. I think there was a Kung Fu Monthly, a guy who was selling Kung Fu Monthly. There was an artist who I'll get onto later. He's quite local to me, so hopefully I'm going to try and get him onto the channel because his artwork was pretty amazing. Carl had a stall, Andrew had a stall, obviously Ricky Baker had a stall, and I think there was a martial art selling nunchucks and whatnot in the corner. So I'm going to go through them individually. So where should I start? So I'm going to start with Ricky Baker. I've not seen Ricky Baker. I went to his Eastern Heroes shop probably back in 96, 97, somewhere along those lines. Obviously, that's when he had his shop in, obviously, the centre of London. I did pick up from Ricky. There's actually 5 issues, so we go through them. Obviously, these are the Japanese. So that's number 1. There is actually one missing. It's not a complete set, so I will be on the lookout on eBay for the missing one, which was, I think it's number 5. I'm missing number 5, and obviously these all cover the Way of the Dragon, and obviously we've just had the release in softback of Dragon by Steve Carriage. Unfortunately, I couldn't afford the. Obviously, I did want the hardback when that initially came out. I couldn't afford that, and obviously the softback was slightly out of my price range. Luckily, I did buy, obviously, the making of the Big Boss in hardback, which comes in a lovely slipcover, and obviously you get some reproduction lobby cards. I managed to buy that, obviously, when funds were available. So that's what I purchased off Ricky. So I did have a quick chat with him, obviously reminiscing about, obviously, his shop back in the day in London. So that was Ricky. And his mate next to him had a load of Mexican lobby cards. I think I just missed out on, there was one there, obviously, we've probably all seen it in the Saw in the Head, the famous Saw in the Head scene. I probably would have maybe picked that up if that was available. But he did have some amazing stuff. Unfortunately, I'm just running out of room. I only have a limited amount of room, and it's like, unfortunately, I can't display everything. I would love more, but I just can't. I don't have the room to do that. So who shall we move on to next? So, where is it? We'll cover what, obviously, I picked up from Andrew Staten's, obviously, table. He had a massive table. Apparently, he's even got more storage, more items in storage, which I'd actually love to take a route through. He actually signed this for me, as you can see. I didn't actually pick this up at the time. Obviously, this is when this was for the 25th anniversary for The Man and the Legend, which I think came out on video. So going back quite a few years. So obviously that's a decent book I've not got in the collection. So the next few things, he had and obviously this is not just Bruce Lee. He actually had quite a lot of stuff on other martial art movies. So obviously I'm a big Hong Kong movie fan as well, not just Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, obviously Sammo Hung, big fan of Sammo, and everybody else, Yung Biao, and I love the whole Kung Fu movies. So what I did pick up is obviously Encounters of the Spooky Kind 2. Now this is I guess it's a sort of a promotional item. I love that actual cover work. I'm not big into the horror, but that's really fantastic. So obviously you got Lam Ching Ying, Sammo and Man Hoi. Unfortunately, obviously there's only Sammo still alive from that picture. So obviously this is the Encounters of the Spooky Kind 2. I think this is in Warner Brothers' hands, so the chances of seeing it are pretty slim, unfortunately. So let's move on. So obviously these are quite random, but as I was reading through the boxes, I was like, yeah, I need that. So this is obviously a still from Knockabout, starring obviously Sammo and Yung Biao. One of my favourite films. I need to actually rewatch it. So obviously it's been released a couple of years back by Eureka. Now the next one, John Woo film, Last Hurrah for Chivalry. As you can see, let's have a look at the back. directed by John Woo. Obviously, I'm looking forward to the new 4K remasters of John Woo's classics, A Better Tomorrow. The Killer is one of my favourite, Hard Boiled. I will be buying them. I'm not going to import them from America. I'm going to wait till Arrow actually release them in the UK, try and save a few pounds. Well, there you go. That's a great film. Obviously, very much in the line of Chang-Chi, which I think John Woo actually worked under, obviously, in his earlier career. Now, this is a fantastic still. I had to pick this up when I saw it. Angela Mao Ying, which I think this is from, I could be wrong, correct me in the comments, guys, if I'm wrong. I don't mind being wrong. I think this is from Broken Oath, which I recently watched when, obviously, a Eureka released it over here in the UK. Hopefully one day I'm going to get this signed. So Hector, this needs to be signed. Please help me out. So, talking about, obviously, chatting with, obviously, fellow Bruce Lee fans. One fan, Michael, who I chatted with for a number of hours, actually gifted me this, and it's Dragon, the world's best martial art magazine. Only costs 40 pence. And obviously on the cover, we've got George Lazenby and Angela Mao Ying from Stoner. Obviously, these weren't the greatest of magazines, but it's a nice little gift from a fellow Bruce Lee fan. Let's have a look, see what we've got in there. We've got a little bit of Muay Thai there, the Thai boxing action going on. Obviously, it's covering mainly martial arts and obviously the Black Dragon's Revenge, starring Ron Van Cleef. Obviously, this movie was actually shot in Hong Kong not that long after Bruce's death. I think that's part of the plot line. Van Cleef's trying to discover what happened to Bruce Lee. There you go, so there you go. And we've got a bit of martial art of survival. I don't know who needed a red gi there, but there you go. Guess that was the fashion back then. But there you go, nice little gift of Michael. So Michael, thank you very much. I will be emailing you when I've finished filming this. I said I would, and I'm going to do that. So let's have a look at the other items. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, it did pick another item up. Let's have a look. So I was actually missing until Steve actually released. I've got more actually. Not to cover these. So here we go. So there's little bits of bump as well. So I managed to pick up for amazing price, which was about £1, a sealed copy of Impact magazine. Now, I did have 2 copies of at least the first 100 issues of Impact magazine. It was my favourite magazine, obviously. It had the Van Damme, it covered Bruce Lee. It did a lot of stuff on the PM entertainment movies. So, you know, back in the 90s, 2000, that's when we were getting, you know, the best movies in the cinema and obviously on videotape. So there you go. And the reason why I picked this up, obviously later on they went into obviously covering TV shows, a lot like Highlander, etc. That wasn't really my focus then. Obviously I was more into the Hong Kong stuff, which used to be in the back of the magazine. So let's have a look at this. So there you go. So let's have a look at the back. Obviously, at the back of the magazine, they normally covered this. Looks like a lot of horror-focused stuff, but let's have a look at this. New York Asian Film Festival. So normally, the later on, the magazine was normally cut in two. So you had the Western stuff, mainly focusing on TVs and movies, and in the back you had an Eastern section, obviously. Got stuff on obviously TV shows, but the reason why I picked it up, I thought, and I might have actually saved this bit, but here you go. You've got a mint condition, Fist of Fury, The Legacy, obviously featuring Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, Tong Lung, Stephen Chow, Sing Chi, Donnie Yen, and Jet Li obviously have all, in some way, sort of covered the films of Bruce Lee. So you've got your Fist of Fury. I've actually watched this. I've watched some of it. The legend lives on. Obviously, the unfortunate thing with the Donnie Yen series, he does fight Bay Logan at the end of the as Petrov, is that the films are that undercranked. The TV show is that undercranked. It's nearly unwatchable. It's laughable at times. It's like watching the Keystone Cops. So obviously, you've got your Fist of Fury, which I've just asked recently on my social media, which is your favourite Bruce Lee film? Now, for me, Fist of Fury probably is the best film, but for me, my favourite is still Enter the Dragon. You've got the soundtracks, the Hong Kong locations, where most of the Bruce Lee films shot in, obviously, Hong Kong didn't really show Hong Kong. You've got the Hong Kong locations, obviously, the amazing score by Lalo Schifrin. For me, it's just a perfect package. And I think the cabin scene is probably his best, Bruce versus many fight scene. He uses the Kali sticks, the nunchucks. It's fantastic. I don't think that will ever be beaten, that sort of fight, because he just goes from one thing to the next weapon, boom, boom, boom. Unbelievable. But yeah, probably Fist of Fury is the best because it's more of a historical, and obviously you've got the, fighting against the Japanese, being called the sick men in Asia. So obviously that would have really, especially at the time, just after the Second World War, obviously that would have really got the fans going. So you've got your Fist of Fury 2, you've got Fist of Death, starring Tong Lung. I've actually got this film on VCD, I'm not sure if I watched it, Fist of Fury 1991. Also, it's like more of a comedy, and obviously the classic Fist of Legend, which for me is Jet Li's best film. It's let down a little bit. There's just a bit too much wire work for me. I wish it didn't have any wire work for me. Obviously, Jet used to work a lot with Yun Wu Ping, and he did use a lot of wire work for me, which is, I've actually got to revisit the Once Upon a Time in China films, and it's the things what's letting me off. I think they're great films, but it's just that choreography, the flying around on wires. And the last thing, you've got Fist of Fury, the TV series. There you go. So that's only costed me £1. So the last thing I picked up is, this was on Pal's store. It was the 5th issue from Bruce Lee Forever magazine. Now this one's the Enter the Dragon special. I actually have most of them. I did pick up when obviously the magazines were released. Obviously I bought this from bruceleeforever.com, the first issue, probably about £22 I think, but luckily I managed to get 3 of the next. I've got 2, 3 and 4. Got those. I managed to get those off eBay for about half the price, so about £10 to £12 each. So I only need to get issue 6, which is the new issue. So obviously on Cal's store as well, he did have Bruce Lee Fights, which is, if I remember, is like a combination of, I think it was a bootleg. Apparently it was released in Canada, I'm not 100% sure. If you know more details, let me know. I did have it on video, and it's got a narration over it. It's got some like funky music, if I remember serves. I've not watched it for probably 20, 30 years, but yes, it was really quite good at the time, because you just had all the clips of the fight scenes. I think it was a complete bootleg, obviously not legitimate, but if you know where I can watch it again, just for nostalgia reasons, just leave a comment and let me know. I'd love to see it again. Obviously, I wasn't going to buy the video. I've not got a video player, and obviously it's quite rare, so it's quite expensive as well. So yeah, I wasn't going to go down that route, but it did come with a CD, a DVD-R, so I was going, oh, should I buy it or not? But I was like, no. But have I got any other items to show you? Let's have a think. I don't think that. I think that's it, guys. But it doesn't stop there, because I have got quite a lot of items to show you guys. I've been buying these, I've been saving these up for the last couple of months off eBay. So if you like my sort of content, if you're into Bruce Lee especially, obviously you want to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I know from my analytics about 99% of you are not subscribed. So please subscribe. It really does help the channel. And obviously if you're thinking about it, maybe join on one of the memberships. They really start quite cheap, probably from about £2. And if you want a chance of winning the amazing cream of Bruce Lee, you need to be a member. And I will be doing the draw very shortly. So guys, if you fancy winning this, don't forget to join the membership. So until next time, guys. Oh, before I go, I want to give a shout out, another shout out again to Michael. Spent quite a lot of time with you guy. Enjoyed your company. Kevin, great meeting you as well. Obviously Vicky was there with a bloke, and obviously the bloke was out there enjoying himself, checking out the merchandise. So we did speak to, me and Michael did speak to Vicky quite a bit. Obviously nice finally meeting Andrew. Obviously I've been reading your work since probably the mid to late 80s. Obviously I think originally it was called the Bruce Lee Collectors Club. I think you first started doing that, and obviously it moved on. Obviously then it started covering Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee, and obviously I used to be a member of that. So yeah, nice to finally meet you guys. Obviously Carl, you put an amazing show. Can't wait till the next one. Obviously I think you're gonna be revamping things, upgrading things for next year. So I'm really looking forward to what you've got in store for 2026. Obviously this is the first one I could go to. I did actually buy a ticket for last year. I couldn't go to it, and I think the year before that is the first time I knew it was actually going on. So yeah, it's great to actually finally get to a Bruce Lee event. Obviously back in the 90s I missed out on the Tracking a Dragon events. I was actually at the time trying to save up to go to Hong Kong. So I'm probably one of the first few people who have actually managed to get up to 8 Chung King Street in obviously Hammer Hill Road. Obviously now a good buddy of mine has actually sent me a picture today, obviously, of what is now actually on the location of the Golden Harvest Studios. And unfortunately, it's not a pretty sight. Obviously, it's another high-rise. Just what Hong Kong needs. And Carl was generous at the end of the event and at the start of the event to give a little couple of freebies. So you've got Brandon Lee's, obviously, band there from The Crow. Hangman's Joke. Obviously, you've got a guitar pick there. At the start of the event, obviously, I picked a badge up, a Bruce Lee badge. There you go. This is the one I just picked at random. You got a little plastic. Is that the right way around? No. Rise of the Dragon. And just a couple of bottle openers. You've got Rise of the Dragon there in a purple, and the Red Pepper Restaurant from the awful 1978 Game of Death. All right, that's it. Finally, guys, I'll be back very soon. Take care. Peace.